hard it is to come up with Bae of the Week when you hate everybody?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm so done with Bae of the Week. I'm like, I guess this one.
Hear me, oh.
Every week, I'm like, oh, Roscoe. And then I'm like, I can't say that again.
You can say it as many times as you need to keep yourself sane, my love.
Facebook,
YouTube,
Insta.
Insta. Yeah, watch out for my sequins. This is hot couture. Hot counter.
Where? Macy's?
Yes. Macy's it's legit.
It is.
They have lines, honey. Lines.
Okay.
Fashions, not the ones you're thinking of.
That's not what I was even thinking of. That's what you were thinking of.
You don't know what I was thinking of.
Whoa, relax.
You got me hooked onto this song. I've got to say.
It's a good song.
You look gorgeous, mama. Face is beat.
Well, these eyelashes are uneven though.
Hair is ditted. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of hurt my feelings when I got it cut. I was like, no, I just styled it today.
That shouldn't have hurt your feelings. Come on.
It didn't really hurt my feelings.
Can you hear yourself in the mic?
No. But that's not one.
Oh. You know, I need to get a new card thingy. I need to stop.
What do you mean?
Because it does the thing where it locks.
Oh.
It's so jankboots.com. I could hear that again.
That song?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's not on if it's not in your minute. Yeah, I wonder what happened.
If it's live, I can't go back.
What do you mean? I mean, it's still happening now. If it's live. Did that one stop as well?
No, Facebook is going. It's still on. Aaliyah's watching.
Hey, Lily. Hey, Trish. Hey, TEDxPortlandState.
Is this on Insta that you're seeing all these folks?
Yeah.
Aaliyah was on the Facebook as one of our loyal listeners, she said.
She is loyal. She is quite loyal. We love you, Lily. We love you all. Thank you so much for tuning into Village Vibes Podcast on this lovely day. Because God is good. Because God is good. Because God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Heshay Bobo, Ashe.
Praises be up to the Lord Jesus Christ our Savior.
Because when the prayers go up,
the blessings come
scroll down. Okay?
That's nice.
Okay.
Way to go. Way to modernize
that. You know I had to put a little twisty twist.
Mm-hmm. Twisty twist.
My underarm started sweating. Is this playing? Okay, that worked. Do you hear yourself? Ooh. Woo. Hey. Did you ever watch A Living Color?
I did not.
Okay. Did you watch Living Single? Okay. Martin?
I did watch Martin, yeah.
Okay. Y'all did have access to that here in Beaverton.
Oh, we had access.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if it was limited,
I grew up with white parents.
Color, viewings.
You know what I just got out of the habit of watching?
What?
It's Friends. I watch that show now and I'm not entertained. Like, I kind of hate it.
I was stuck on that show for a little bit. I got hooked really late, and then I stopped watching.
It's a trash show. I don't even know why.
Is it really? Well, it was based off of the same. It was based off of Living Single.
Oh, it was?
Mm-hmm.
just the white version.
Except the white version, and they made $2 million an episode.
Do you remember that episode of Glee where Kristen Chenoweth is like, I'm gonna do an all-white production of The Wiz?
No, I don't remember that, but that definitely gives me, the hives.
So funny.
I
don't think people understood the genius of that joke. So funny. Are we recording?
We are.
You know what? I want to go back on every episode and take out every part where I say, are we recording? Start this shit.
Why?
I don't know.
January 21?
Baby girl had to run.
Was up the street with 21.
Were we doing that?
Wait.
Was there a night where we were singing that and we were doing Obama impressions?
No, I've never done an Obama impression. I think you might have. Don't you do a good one?
I don't do an Obama impression very often. He's so easy. He just pauses between every word. Baby girl. So, we are, going to run. January 21.
The audacity of hope.
Yeah, he's an easy one to do.
I know some people do his really well. I can't do him very well.
Who is the man who was on SNL for a long time?
Jay Farrell.
Yes, he does.
Jay Farrell
amazing impressions.
Wow.
Stupid.
His Denzel Washington.
Yeah, all of them.
That one
Denzel,
destroys
Kanye,
me.
Obama. He does Jay-Z so funny. That laugh that Jay-Z does, like that nasally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's the Denzel Washington one that he does that really catches my soul because I'm just like, whoa.
With the big teeth?
Yeah.
Like he always does the unk. He always does
Mhm.
the unk version of Denzel. Like not the sexy one.
No.
It's like the one where he's like the coach. You know what I mean? That is.
Yes, ma'am.
That is always his impression. It's funny.
Who's your Bae of the Week?
It's not a who, but a what.
What is your Bae of the Week?
My Columbia rain jacket, because this weather has been absolute garbage. And I'm completely over picking people for Bae of the Week. I've learned that. I think the last 5 weeks, my Bae of the Week has been an item. Something inanimate that doesn't move, doesn't speak, doesn't breathe.
Windshield wipers. Now.
Yeah. That's it. She's it. She's kept me nice and dry.
Nice.
Again, this weather has been garbage.
Bravisi.
I cannot believe we had to drive out to Forest Grove yesterday for car stuff because Kenny's car stopped working.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. That drive though.
To where? To Forest Grove?
Yeah, my car hydroplaned.
Why do you go that far?
Well, because his brother lives out there. We had to go, and the shop that we take our cars to is out there because they have good prices and all that.
Nice and affordable.
Yeah, getting your car, that shit is
trash.
Expensive.
Cars, dogs, health insurance.
You had to throw in free, didn't you?
Groceries. Girl, groceries took me by storm last year.
The will to live.
The audacity of life. The nerve for me to try to get some sustenance in my body.
Mm-hmm. The Honda, what?
Never in the light speed of God did I think we would see a president feeding people dollar cheeseburgers from McDonald's or wherever the fuck.
Of all the things that could be in the news, and that honestly, that news story made such huge headlines. I mean, everybody was talking about that, and initially I was like, what the fuck is this? And Kenny looked so dumbstruck. He was like, oh, okay. When I told him about it, and he was like, why is that a news story? And I was like, I think people are just flabbergasted by, the audacity of the stuff that's happening. But I was like, that is literally a meal that they could have gotten at the drive-thru for $5 on their own fucking time.
And he said he paid $13,000 to feed. He took them out of his own pocket. Girl, bye.
For fast food? You couldn't even get a caterer?
These were athletes. Young athletes. Now, I was certain that Michelle Obama had planted a garden somewhere on one of those wings in the garden somewhere. I just knew she did. And I just can't imagine being Michelle Obama, whose campaign was about school lunches and feeding these kids the proper things that they need so that they can develop into healthy human beings, so that they can be great people and smart, so they don't stunt their growth, so they don't have health issues, so we don't contribute to the high obesity rate, those kinds of things, But I was just like, oh, this is what's happening. Like the
Right.
East Wing smells like a burger joint.
I know.
And
I
a
have a
cheap-
burger in my car for 5 minutes, and I'm like, woo!
And a
That shit
cheap one
smells for
at
a
that.
day.
I do Postmates for 1 minute to transport an item, and I come back and my car smells for like 8
like
days.
tacos, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Speaking
trash.
of Taco Bell,
So, anyway, the Honda stopped working.
yes.
And I was like, bitch, the engine. It's okay. We're there. We're together. I see you. We see each other. I'll be the one to
Bring it, bring
yeah.
it back. Yeah.
This shit. They called us and they were like, yeah, the engine's gonna be $3,500 to replace, and I was like, who's $3,500? Because I've got a smooth 600 in a savings, not even in my checking, in a savings account.
You did the head tilt and the eyebrow raise. Who are you talking to?
Who? I
Hold
was
up.
like, and this just speaks to like these privileges that you don't really see until you have to. Well, all of these privileges that we have, his brothers happen to have 2 cars that they're not using because they have their own other new cars that they use. So his brother was just like, yeah, have my car. And I was like, listen, your family, like, I don't think you realize how privileged you are. Because, if my car broke down, my dad would be like,
well, daughter,
yeah, good luck.
Godspeed to you.
Yeah, here's a link to a website that might help you budget something in an email. Like, anyway, so,
And while you're at it, make America great again.
God.
Because the country's here for you.
Kill me now. Ugh, this country ain't here for anybody.
Mm.
Anyway, so my raincoat, shout out to her.
It's a nice raincoat.
It is, and the new truck that Kenny got. So
Nice. Is he driving it?
he is, yeah.
Did you take a ride in it?
Up,
You like it?
We picked it up yesterday. I haven't rode in it because the front seat's not there. And
Wait, either
also,
one?
No, obviously the driver's seat isn't
Oh,
there. He's
I
been
was just-
driving. He's not squatting in the truck.
Well, you don't know. I don't know.
No,
Wait, why was
the
seat in
passenger
there?
seat. I don't know. He took it out. Because I think because he wasn't using it, he just I don't know.
Wait.
Oh, because the cab develops moisture or some shit. I don't know shit about cars. I don't fucking know.
Moisture? What year car is this? What is this?
2003. It's not new. It's new to us.
Is this a yabba dabba doo? What is this?
You know,
Niggas is like kicking their feet to drive? What is this?
okay, fuck you, first of all. You know what? It's a car without payments, and that's good enough for us.
That's fine.
Oh.
Moisture isn't good in Portland. It develops all
know.
that moss.
Mold?
Moss and mold.
Okay.
The green stuff is moss.
Yeah, no, I understand. Mold can also be green. I'm just wondering what it is that... What besides the outdoors is moisture creating moss?
Precipitation. I don't know.
Sure. Anyway, who's your Bae of the week? Let's just move on.
Okay, moving forward.
Yeah.
My Bae of the week goes to none other, and I hope you're watching, Quinn. I love you so much. Quinn is not only a phenomenal artist, a phenomenal person, a lyricist, a poet, a prophet,
A cook.
a chef. Okay, a chef. Okay. A horticulture,
He's just a ball of
this.
energy and talent.
But he's also a phenomenal astrological and oracle reader. He provided me with an hour-long reading that just kind of astounded me, and I've never really had one that thorough before. And he... these are certain things that you already are aware of, but when somebody puts it into so much depth and so much detail, I was just impressed, and I'm just really grateful that I worked with him and that he worked with me. I really enjoy his way of approaching his readings, and he makes it so personable and so personal, and he everything is confidential. I would tell you all right now, Quinn. Go check out Quinn, QUINNFOS, and check out Detached Thoughts, his album. But get an astrological reading. His website is 4, DAHUE men's.com or .org. I want to confirm that detail. for the humans.
So
I appreciate. I was really happy. Yeah, for the humans. Yeah, check him out. Get a reading from him. It's so thorough. He's so invested and engaged. He has like a full notebook of notes for you. Like, and you just give him your birthday. You know, that information about your birthday, what time you were born, where you were born, and he just aligns everything. And he's very intuitive as well, very responsible, just very respectful and kind in his approach, with a tinge and taste of hood, which I love. Not even just a tinge, just hood.
Yeah.
And you know I love. Okay, so. Quinn,
watch out, Quinn.
You are my.
He's making.
Quinn is my Bae of the Week. Also, I want to give another shout out to my pup, Free. I have to say I had a lot of anxiety surrounding her meeting other dogs, and she actually went. She's gone over to Aaliyah and Bryce's house a few times and done well with Ziggy, done well with Luna now. Even though the first meeting was trash, but that was probably me projecting my stuff onto her. And then we took her to my parents' house, and she met with Lola and Tango, and they did splendid.
Yeah, Lola and Tango are crazy too.
Lola's fine. It's just Tango that I was worried that was going to bite her head off, literally.
Yeah, but
period.
But Free and Tango get along better?
Yes, Free and Tango, or maybe they have an understanding. But Lola just looks at her like, hey, I'm your auntie, and I'm just going to mentor you. And she's like, and I'm like, stop it now. Don't you? Absolutely.
She's rebellious.
Not.
She's rebellious.
Yes. But love her. And those are my baes of the week. Thank y'all so much.
Those are good baes. Oh, and okay. Yeah, those are good baes.
I would say check out Quinn. Go get you a reading right now, today. I encourage you all. Okay?
Important stuff. Are you going to get into part of that when we get into what we learned?
I don't think so. Oh, well, you know what? I can. You know what? I can do that now.
No,
because
it's
part
totally
of what I
fine.
learned,
You don't have to. I just wondered if there was like a particular gem or something that
I'll share a few. And one of the ones that really stuck out from the beginning was that he said, I have a lot of feminine energy, you know, but I have masculine and feminine energy, but the feminine energy kind of not overtakes, but is a bit stronger than my masculine energy. And he made a good point of recognizing that I deal with a lot of darkness within me. And he said that you don't externalize it to the public, but when you're home alone, you kind of bask in it a little bit, and you need to recognize and acknowledge that. He also told me about my mouth and how I need to, just like my therapist called me a messy queen. He said, you got to be mindful of what you put out of your mouth into the universe because it listens. Not only that, he said to me that your karma in particular comes back to you tenfold. So he said, really be mindful of what you're putting out there. It's just like your karma comes back hard.
Yeah.
So be mindful of how you're treating others, what you're saying to others. He really spoke a lot about like the tone that I use, because he said it's so cut and clear and precise, and sometimes comes off harsh and cold.
Does it?
Okay.
Wouldn't know.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No, but I think that's very interesting, because I don't view you as a negative person, or so. I feel like I spew a lot more negativity. And I wonder how it is that.
Well, I don't think he wasn't focusing. He was just saying that's just kind of how things align for me with my karma.
Right. Like, but I mean, it'd be interesting in therapy or whatever else in your own personal growth to figure out what those negative things are that you're putting out, because I don't think that you, like he said, you're not always externalizing it. So I would love to know like what's happening in there that.
Well, I think I've dealt with a lot of loneliness. I've dealt with a lot of feeling like I've never felt like I
reached the pinnacles.
That, but I often feel that I allow myself to be mistreated, and I allow myself to accept and receive that, which makes me then turn around and internalize it for myself, because I don't know how to process it in a fashion that lets people know that I'm hurt, or that I feel mistreated by them, or by some element, or some, even with just depression and anxiety, even dealing with loss, like I have a lot of things that I never got a chance to process through, and I had people always just kind of on top of me, just kind of pressuring me and pushing me into certain situations that I didn't want to be in. You know, I mean, it can go back as far as my mom's death. You know, like I didn't have proper. I wasn't allowed or given the space to process that the way that I felt as a child I was supposed to. A child in his 20s who had to all of a sudden like stand up tall and be the pillar of strength for the people around me.
Yeah.
Who had to endure, you know, family members more concerned with what we were going to eat at the funeral or if they could take my mother's television than about how I'm feeling. And I recognize that, you know, that's just their mechanism for their hurt and their way of not acknowledging their pain or processing it properly. But you would think and assume that like adults would be more considerate of the child of a person who passed away. You know, for example, poor Hemplo. What were you gonna say?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh,
I just wanted to hear. I just wanted to.
You know, and also, you know, like with in relationships, not being listened to, not being. I have a very strong distrust for people these days. Some more than others. But I've now begun to build narratives and stories in my head that are protective mechanisms, but definitely shun people away from me, which probably that energetically people can feel coming off of me.
Yeah. Oof. Oof. You got some work to do, sister.
I'm doing the work.
But you are.
Mother.
You are. You're deep down. You're dived in. Swimming in the deep end.
I sure live. Okay.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Those are good bays.
Yeah. Roll it up, roll it up. Pour it out, pour it out. Watch it all. Pour it up, pour it up. Watch it all fall out. Throw it up, throw it up. That's how we ball out. Mustard on the beat, ho.
And dollar bills. Okay. I knew you were going to do that. You fucker. We're going to come back with what we like.
We sure will. Ha ha ha.
Don't. Why are you doing that? What was that? Ha ha ha.
I don't know. I was just feeling very what were you saying?
I've just been thinking a lot about like male and feminine, like male energy and feminine energy, or masculine energy and feminine energy. And I'm like, I suppose I can understand that, but also like I don't know. I wonder what convinces us to even classify those things, traits, as masculine and feminine. Energy
they're not
is
associated
one
with
thing,
gender.
but
The way that
right.
he reads it is not associated with gender. It's more like the ruling of the planets and the moon and the sun, your Mercury, your Mars, your rising. You should do a reading.
Yeah, I would love to.
You might be
Actually,
blasted.
I reached out to Quinn a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Can I get one of those meals?" and then I had like a couple of not great experiences with edibles, and I was like, "Nah, never mind." Those edibles are. Some of those edibles really fucking. I did not realize. I was like,
edibles will blast you.
A tiny little bite of a cake, and I was done.
Yeah, people don't know, and then people always, and it's so funny because I would think that since we've had marijuana, like
I smoke.
We've been exposed to it for such a long time that people would know, like when somebody says only eat half the cookie, eat the half,
and I'm like, no,
like, nah, I don't feel nothing. I'm about to eat the whole thing.
That's what I did too.
Hey, Christine, when are you gonna be our manager? Hey,
Good
Kai.
question.
Kai, I love you. If you're still watching. My underarms are musty. Just kidding. I put on Old Spice.
Old Spice?
I haven't been sour for a while, don't you think?
Don't. Why do you spread your legs when you say that? Catch. No, actually, you haven't stopped sour. But your problem is not sour, it's spice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, you know, you're not smelling yeasty. You're smelling spicy.
Smelling cuminy.
Yes.
Turmeric.
Yes. Yes. Cumin and turmeric. 5 spice.
No, definitely not 5 spice.
Ooh, maybe.
Okay. Damn it, I was gonna say something.
You always call me 5 spice. Is that?
I don't call you 5. So I've never called you 5 spice.
You know what?
In my
I
life.
wore my hair yesterday in 2 little buns on top of my head. The custodian, who I love, his name is Miguel. He called me Chun. He said, "Do you know who Chun Li is?" I said, "Excuse me." No, his first question was, have you ever played Street Fighter? Are you familiar with Street Fighter? And I said,
Don't you do it.
watch the next thing that comes out of your mouth. And he said, Chun-Li. And I said, how dare you? That's not an insult though, right?
No.
That's
she
a
kicks
compliment.
really fast and really high.
She got a cute little outfit on too.
And has fire, has power.
Hadouken.
No, hers
Sure.
She does spinning side kick.
I did pick her a lot.
When you played?
Yeah.
You used to play?
Yeah, I used to play I love Street Fighter.
Okay.
I love Street Fighter. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah, I'm not hitting record. I'm just listening.
Oh no, but it's a good one. Hit record. Are you ready? You ready?
I was ready.
Okay.
I sure do.
Who is the character that you would pick in Mario Kart? And why? You know?
Either Luigi or Princess. I've always
Okay.
felt like Luigi was the underdog.
Okay.
No. And I also picked that W with the evil Mario.
Wario.
I was like, Wizard. Wario.
Yeah, the kind of beefier version.
Yeah, I liked Mario Kart because, well, actually, I would also pick Donkey Kong, Dragon, or whatever his name was. Yoshi.
Dragon.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. I don't think that was Mario Kart. I think you're thinking of the Mario. What's the fight game that everybody plays? It's like Mario based, but it's like all these other characters.
Yes, that one.
I can't think, but Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
The fox? Is it a fox?
Was it a fox? I think he was a.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay. I would always pick Toad.
Oh yeah,
Toad or Peach. Yeah.
Toad or Peach. Princess Peach. That's her name.
Yeah. Or. Thank you. I know that. I really liked Bowser.
That was more confirmation for myself.
Oh, okay. Because you said princess? Okay. I also really liked Bowser. Yeah. I always liked Bowser.
Would you still play? Do you want, like, they have, like, Nintendo Switch and stuff, like the smaller versions of SNES?
I would love it. I'm all about the classic, though. Like, I love Super Nintendo. That's, like, my favorite. Yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Courtney Janelle Lewis because when we were at Purchase together, we used to play her Nintendo when it would snow. We lived right over the food court. Not Terravay, but anybody who went to Purchase, what was the name of the dining hall? Crapola. Anywho, we used to always just go underneath and go through the tunnels to get to the dining hall, which was always great because we didn't have to trek through the snow. But I miss those days. We used to just play Nintendo all day. We also played Crash Out or something. It was like that racing car game where you could ruin your car and it would still be going and you could do all kinds of crazy stuff. Burnout.
I don't remember that game.
We also used to play this game called Bubble Smack. I called it Bubble Smack. It wasn't called that, but like it's these bubbles at the top of the thing. You got to shoot them down, and if you get the ones in color, you get extra points. La la la. I'm sorry.
No, that was okay. I just wanted to know, I saw that floating around on the internet. What'd you learn this week?
The first thing I learned is once you hit rock bottom, there really is nowhere to go but up. I must say that 2018 was nothing but a test of my endurance. I realize that now, and I must say that I got to give credit to Shouting Taste Buds, my friend over at Shouting Taste Buds food truck. Go check her food out. But the body really adapts. Like, I think we tend to forget that, like, we go through these struggles and that we have to remember the body is, while it's recording the traumas that are going, it's recording the traumas in your body that you're going through, which you have to be really careful and mindful of, which is why self-care is super important. It also strengthens you. And I'm like, there's nothing, where else can I go but up?
Yeah.
And to be honest, anything looks better than what the tail end of 2018 looked like. I mean, and I'm still going through stuff right now, but like I'm less impacted by it, and I just feel like my heart is a lot freer. I'm less stressed. I still deal with stress, but I just feel better than I did at the tail end of 2018 because I was really in a low place. And I don't think, my sister Aaliyah made a good point where she said, just because I wasn't presenting, presenting that I was going through that much strife, it doesn't mean that like I'm hurting any less.
Yeah.
You know, and I really appreciated that because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people who will cry or have psychosis or breakdown. No shade, not shaming. For example, and they'll be visibly just under so much stress and duress, you know, and distress. That's what I meant.
Don't worry. I got you. Our next caress.
Our next caress. Oh wait, that's wrong. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it real quick, but I'm not making fun. Our next caress. That was wrong. That was wrong. So I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. I want to promote
positivity. You can't go through that whole 30-second monologue and then decide that it was wrong.
I'm sorry.
It's not that.
That's wrong.
It's funny.
I wish her healing.
She is fine.
You know, yeah. So there's really nowhere to go, and not only that, but celebrate the little victories. Celebrate the little victories of being able to say to yourself, "Hey, I'm able to get out the house today."
Yeah.
Hey, I made breakfast. Good job, sis.
Yep.
Because the world don't want you to do that. The world wants you to go get an Egg McMuffin and sit in your car and get fat and then have to pay medical for everything, right?
Wow.
Celebrate the small victories. Grab them where you can, particularly in these times. I had to unfollow a few people because they celebrate R. Kelly still.
Oh my! That's on my what I learned this week.
I was quite intrigued to see just how people were defending him, and it's interesting because like I am not that's fine that they choose to do that. I believe that he definitely needs to answer to his actions. 100%, he needs to be held accountable and held responsible. Because the other part of that is that I saw an interview with Ayanla, and she was coming at it from a standpoint of like, I understand that this is a man who is hurting. This is a man who went through. She wasn't defending him,
right? But
she was just like, this is a man who dealt with molestation at a very young age and felt out of power and decided from that moment on that he was not going to be a person without power again. And he took that role to the max and did it to others. And she said that he actually called her to try to work on it. And then Sway asked her, well, why didn't he follow through? And she was like, he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know, but the way that she approached it gave me another insight and perspective into this. She was more coming from a standpoint of saying like, we need to figure out how to solve this so this doesn't happen again.
Right.
Which I admired and appreciated as a healer. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Ayanna, but I was like, that's pretty accurate. And because we are a more negative approaching society to things, we want to just sit there and condemn and berate, but like and she made it a point. She was like, it doesn't stop with R. Kelly. She was like, this is happening everywhere, every day. You all need to wake up and look at your children and talk to them. A huge issue that I'm having right now is that there's not enough listening to children. I don't care if they aren't the same, if they're not adults. These are feeling human beings who go through real things. Children now know how to commit suicide, for instance. Children now know, they know so much more, and there's just not enough listening to them. There's not enough watching them and checking in. I'm all about disciplining your child. I'm all about like making sure that they know how to move through this life. You know, sometimes you got to give them tough love, but do not ignore them. Ask them the questions. And because we're not living they'll find the answer somewhere else.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We can't hide them. We can't hide anything from them. We have to talk to them about sexuality. We have to talk about civil rights. We have to talk about what's happening in the world. We have to talk about health and nutrition. We have to be able to open lines of communication with our children because these are the people who are coming up next. And unfortunately, we're leaving them a world that's going to be fucking destitute as fuck if we don't pull it together. Wow. Sorry.
Well, I think the thing about it too is that what we're seeing right now is a generation of people who have decided that it is critical thinking is important and self-care is important and career choice. Every decision that we make is going to impact our lives in some way, and our beings and our spirits and our energies. But the thing about kids is that most adults don't view kids as people. They view them as children. They view them as subordinates. And the problem comes when we're not honest with them because we don't believe that they have the capacity to understand it. When the reality is what clouds their judgment is growing up.
Yeah.
And learning more and more. And if we give them those tools and skills to take on all of that knowledge as they grow up, then they'll have better ways to approach those things. But if we pretend that those things out there in the world don't exist, like, people used to always get down, like, I've had people tell me, like, you can't give kids consequences. It's only positive-based behavior support, which I agree with. I think that there's a ton of research about positive behavior reinforcement, but also, like, I can't in good conscience tell this child that if he, in 10 years, if he does the same thing, that there aren't going to be real life consequences. So I have to make it real in this particular, if they don't leave my classroom with those tools and skills, I have not done my job. And people really, like, I even see people who work in education now who talk to kids like they're not human beings. I don't mean you need to be, like, kikiing with kids. Like, I don't mean you need to... I don't mean that you need to treat them like your friends when you're in that particular position, but also, like, I don't think people really understand how to just treat kids like humans. Yeah. Like, it's so foreign. Yeah. We are leaving them a shitty world, but I do think that because we're the generation who are kind of bringing up those kids, raising them, teaching them, etc., these kids really do have some incredible tools.
Sure, absolutely. And I mean, we can see that with the movements that are happening now. The kids from Parkland are like making a huge stand. I'm like, you can be my president.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But there's still so much hurt in the world, and there's still so much healing that needs to happen. And so I just wish the best for healing. I'm just saying, like, I kind of went off, but into something, but that was talking about the children and listening to them was something that just, like, fell into my spirit. Like, I don't even know if that's a thing, like, because I even recognize with Free, like, I look at her in her eyes sometimes, I'm like, what are you thinking? What's going on? I wish you could communicate with me how you're feeling, you know? And somehow it makes me think about my nieces and my nephews, and how they're growing up and what they're seeing. And, you know, I want to make sure that I'm totally like the uncle who is like, I don't care what you do, go enjoy life. But the reality is that I do want to be someone in their lives that actually can talk to them, that they can talk to. Not saying they can't talk to their parents, but I want to have that kind of relationship with them as they grow up. You know? Yeah,
because if you don't, like, I think so.
If
like you were saying, some of those kids grow up to be R. Kelly.
And a lot worse. Bowl cuts.
And a lot worse.
Bowl cuts. We don't want those.
Yeah, I'm going to interject on that because R. Kelly was dropped by his record label yesterday. And...
Consequence. You should be. No more music. Thank you.
I follow D.L. Hughley on Instagram. I really like following him. I think he's funny, and
D.L. Hughley's a legend.
Yeah. But there was a TMZ video that he posted himself of him, the paparazzi coming at him like, what do you think about R. Kelly? And he said, great singer, bad babysitter. Listen to his music, but won't leave my kids with him.
No!
The same thing about Michael Jackson. I was like, whoa! No. I was like, whoa! But it got me thinking about, like, this culture of cancellation and how we are so quick to cancel people. And, I mean, I think that's been a conversation for a long time. The first time that I really thought about it was when Paula Deen had her shit. Yeah. And she was instantly canceled. I mean, everybody dropped her. She had no jobs after that. And I agree with that. I don't think that we should give people like that a space or a platform. So I understand the idea of canceling somebody because they don't need... that kind of energy and that kind of those kinds of opinions and thoughts don't need to have a space in this world. However, are people understanding that in a way where we do recognize that instead of like, okay, yeah, let's cancel that person, but also what are we doing outside of that with children, holding men accountable, men stepping up to the plate, which they don't historically and even now.
And I have a sidebar for that too.
But I mean, I want to make sure that when we're talking about canceling, we're also doing the work behind it, because we can't just say, get that motherfucker out of here. He's a rapist. He's sexist. He's blah, 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 blah. And then not actually, but then when it comes to your own child, you're like, well, I don't really want to talk to them about sex. Or I saw that episode of Blackish yesterday where Anthony
Anderson
is celebrating his son for losing his virginity. And then Bo says, but what about our daughter? Are we going to celebrate her? And he goes to the sunken place. Funny.
It just goes to show you. I mean, which also reminds me, I don't know if you've seen that Gillette commercial.
I did. I saw it.
And how these men were just like, you don't tell us what to do. Wow.
In feelings. Wow. We're talking about a razor company.
Crystal said it best. Men are some of the most sensitive bitches I've ever met in my life.
You know what?
I was completely in agreement.
And that was a point I had this week. I was like, it's the well-intentioned white people whose feelings are always the most hurt. That's on a different point, but along the same lines.
Well, thank y'all so much. It's been a great episode. I'm leaving. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's just, I just want to make sure that this culture that we have right now of cancellation is actually getting us where we need to be, because we're actually not just canceling, we're actually doing something about it. And I don't know if everybody is on that same page. And also just like, I don't know if I have an opinion about this either way, but I also wonder if silencing is a tool to fight oppression. Is that? Like, do we say, because I say things like, it's your turn to be silent. Like, shh, I'm not going to give you any space. And, but I wonder too if that's useful. I don't know.
I think it is a useful tool when somebody is traditionally used to always being the person in power or the person that's always speaking.
Right.
But if you're trying to make a point clear and you're saying, I mean, I need you to listen to me now.
Yeah. You kind of have to take it to that extreme,
like,
right?
Absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with that. And because I think the thing is that you're considerate of the person and that you'll give them the space to say what they need to say, but like they need to stop and take a moment. It needs to be a balance.
Right.
That give and take thing. Like first of all, you need to be able to listen.
Right. But the majority of the people that we're silencing are people who will not engage in that.
Right.
Or not work to make that balance.
Right.
Okay, I get that. Also, last question on that, and then I'll let you continue with what you learned. How do you feel about bumping music? Because I feel like this has been a recent controversy. Bumping music that an artist made before a turning point in which we found out they're a shitty person. Steffi sent me this really funny video of a guy. Shout out to Steffi.
Hey!
Love you. Of this guy listening to R. Kelly and remix to Ignition and singing along and then stopping himself and being like, nah, I can't fuck with you. I know
what you're talking about. I saw that.
And I just wonder, like, there are certain artists who I've completely gotten rid of. But, this Drake.
So this is about Drake. This is about Aubrey.
No, but it is really, though, about, because I listened to Chris Brown for a long time, but I don't listen to him anymore, but I hated him, but I would still listen to the music. So what is the line, what are the lines for cancellation? How do you feel about it?
I think that falls in line with your morals and your values.
Right.
Here's the difference. Chris Brown has apologized. He continues to display fuckboy behavior. He continued to display fuckboy behavior post the abuse with Rihanna situation. He has gone to therapy. He has apologized. He has been public about those apologies, and I'm not saying that's still a means to not cancel or to go about listening to his music
or financially supporting him.
Right. Or there you go. I can't put him on the same pedestal as R. Kelly because R. Kelly ain't even owned up to nothing.
I see. I hear you. I see what you're saying.
And whereas with the Rihanna situation, which catapulted all of his decline. There was evidence. Yeah. Tangible evidence. Like,
right.
We don't need to pull that photo up.
But I mean, there's tangible evidence of R. Kelly. He was married to a 15-year-old. 16?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That is evidence.
That also comes on the backs of a team of people who knew. And apparently there was a whole bunch of people who knew what was going on. A bunch of people who are very famous. a bunch of people who are very aware of what they were doing. And that's the big shocker, is that why was there no one on that team that had a conscience enough to say, this is wrong. There are women
Right.
on R. Kelly's team who
Who
I'm
are like, yeah, this is okay. We're just gonna come.
right. And so I don't, with Chris Brown, I think there's just been, we give that a little bit more of leeway. I don't like that word, because
Right.
he's owned up to it and he hasn't denied it at all.
I hear you. I guess I can see that. I also just think that like his language about it still is super problematic. And you could also make an argument that like a lot of things that we engage in with the media is really problematic, but we still go up for it. Like I was just listening to Kendrick Lamar the other day, and like he said something, I don't remember what the line was, but I was like, ooh, that's kind of offensive to women. but you know,
but he's also, I mean that's one line, right? But he's also got empowering lyrics out there too.
right.
And I think the empowering lyrics outweigh those lyrics.
Mhm.
The truth is that we don't know what any of these people do in their lives.
Right, or who they really are.
We don't know what is going on.
Mhm.
You know, all of our faves could be
Right.
problematic people.
They probably are. Mariah especially. But it's still
But
heavy.
duh, Tommy Mottola ruined her life. Duh.
Yeah, and that too. I don't think that there's a right answer. I think that it's worth the discussion to think about, like, you know, how we view media and how we interact with these celebrities that we've never met.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All in the name of kind of social justice.
I just really want to encourage healing, and I just want to encourage people to actually speak up about what they're going through. Like,
Right.
the problem is that a lot of us are holding so much within ourselves that, like, I just wish we felt comfortable enough to say, hey, I need help. Well, that's another thing that I learned this week, which is that, like, to say, I need help, y'all. Like, I'm going through a lot, and, like, I'm internalizing a lot of things, and I don't know how to process it properly. If that's the difficulty there, that's what you say. I'm going through a lot. I'm hurting. I don't know how to process this. Are you able to help me?
Right.
And if that person doesn't catch on, then go to the next person.
Right.
Because this is what breeds that whole, like, internalizing everything, and then you gain distrust, and then you gain, like, your pain in your body, and your body cancer develops. You know, all of this stuff can happen to you as a result of holding these things in. I just wish we had a society that did more encouraging, and families that encourage talking. Like, if I ever have a family, I think I'd like to have a night a week where we just have a panel of discussion.
Yep.
What's going on?
I
What's
agree with
happening?
that.
And that's one of the things I like to do with you. I think that's why I always call you and check in. You always make fun of me for it, but
I don't make fun of you for checking in. I make fun of you for apologizing.
I just because it's important. I mean, that's when you place value on people like that.
Yeah.
People, that's where the value is. That's where we are rich in our resources. That's where we should be having, you know, the real talks. You know, is we need to value each other as resources.
Right.
And so that's why I do what I do. Hold on one second. I see something is wrong.
Why?
Because
you can see it in the reflection.
yeah. Yeah, that was me. Oh no. You can share it.
News. Ridiculous.
These
Another
live
news,
feeds are.
Jason Van Dyke just got sentenced to 81 months in prison, although it should have been a lot longer.
Say what now?
Jason Van Dyke, he was the officer that killed Laquan McDonald. 2014.
Wow.
The thing is, like, 81 months is not that. And the charge was second-degree murder. I don't even think it was manslaughter. It was murder. And I'm like, 81 months. Like, there are people in prison doing way more time with for way lesser crimes.
I totally forgot that we were recording. I just got up.
I was just keeping it moving. Anyway.
So, sorry y'all, you missed that feed, but it'll be on the YouTube. Thank goodness. What else did I learn? I ordered my 23andMe.
Yay!
So that was really exciting. I got my 23andMe, and I was reading. I was on the website looking at, like, just all of the things, like the health and the ancestry. So you can get just ancestry, which is like $99, but health and ancestry is $199. But I was reading, and it made a good point that I never considered, because my father has not ever been in my life. It pointed out, like, we take information from your mother and your father's side, and that never registered to me. It's like, oh, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about my father's side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about what health risks I'm susceptible to.
Mm.
And so that really intrigued me and like sparked my wanting to go forward with getting the health and ancestry because I would like to know.
Yeah.
I genuinely would. I'd like to know what connections I have, and I've heard I have brothers and sisters out there. So,
whoa, yeah, you did tell me that. I'm really excited to see what comes back from it, and if there are any connections with people who have done it also that you don't know.
Yikes strikes!
Woo!
The other thing I learned is that it's hard to write a TED Talk. Very hard. I've been struggling with mine, and our first rehearsal is on the 30th. So,
oh shit!
And I need to have my shit together. And yeah, that's it. I think that's all I have for what I learned. Is that that was a good conversation.
That's in 11 days.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I'll have it together. I shouldn't be saying things like this.
On the day.
On live.
Things we learned. So BuzzFeed News broke a story the other day about Donald Trump and that he had directed Michael Cohen to lie about involvement with Russia about a Trump Tower in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the first, and this is the language about this bothers me, and I understand what they mean. It's an obstruction of justice, and people are talking about impeachment. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But this was why Nixon got impeached, was for obstruction of justice. So I think people hear those words and they think, okay,
let's get him the fuck out of here.
Let's get him the fuck out of here. But I also think that this particular time in politics is really daunting because things are not following the system that they've been in for a long time. And there are arguments that say the system of politics is shitty anyway, but also I think most people have enough common sense to understand that in this particular instance, those things need to hold up. Those laws need to,
we need them. We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't.
Exactly.
We need the shits anyway, no matter how awful they actually are.
And if somebody is going to be in eradicating them and changing them, it needs to be somebody who's like there for the good of the people and not somebody who's there to destroy the world.
Right.
But I would love to know what others think about whether or not he's going to be impeached. I just am so jaded at this point that I don't think that anything is impossible with this particular administration and with Donald Trump. But I will say that I just don't even know why we get... The thing is, too, is that it was like, this is the first known documented time that the president's lied. And I'm like,
that's
what?
A lie. And that's a lie.
What? No fucking way that we're going to do that.
That's a whole ass lie.
No way. I mean, it was, I think what they meant is it's the first time a documented lie to Congress. But I'm like, so we're just going to, like, Bill Clinton got impeached because he lied to Congress about an affair. Like something in his personal life.
Right.
This is all politics.
Yeah. I mean, and they wanted to impeach Barack Obama because he was black.
Yeah, that's kind of a different thing.
Is it?
No, I mean, in terms of like...
I'm talking about how easy it is for people to throw that word around and the reasons why they're doing when like you have things like obstruction of justice and collusion and all this stuff going on. Real valid like reasons why we need a person. And like the... government shutdown, longest one in history. Not for only because this person is throwing temper tantrums and wants a wall.
Right.
To secure his legacy for some reason, to say he did it. Even if it's a freaking paperweight.
And it's not even...
The wall's up.
Yeah. Oh man, anyway.
Sorry, I'm focused. I'm just looking at the calendar.
No, you're fine. I just don't think it's worth that much energy, but I'm just like, I just don't even understand how we're even still having this conversation, like, about impeachment. I just don't feel like it's ever going to happen. But that story is a big deal. And then, yeah?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I saw the What Men Want trailer. I'm really excited to see that. And I'm excited to see Erica act.
Oh, did you see that Issa Rae and the actor from India are doing a rom-com?
No!
Yes, sis. There Issa... Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wait. But, so Issa's going to be in two
Yeah.
upcoming?
No, it's not little. It's another one. Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani team up for the rom-com The Lovebirds.
What?
Boop boop. I am so excited to see this.
That's like the most interracial couple we've
I am excited
media in
to
a long time.
see this, honey. That is going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll
What is
be
it
there.
about? Does it say?
Are coming together to star as the leads of The Lovebirds, a romantic comedy picked up by Paramount Pictures. EW has confirmed. The script will see Ray and Nanjiani play a couple close to breaking up who find themselves caught in a bizarre but funny murder mystery, which they attempt to solve in order to clear their names, while also examining if they and their relationship can survive the circumstances. That is sickening.
That is. I've heard some things about The Big Sick. I've never seen it. I've heard some things though. Oh my God! Also, Blackish, the episode of Blackish. Have you seen it yet? Did you watch it? Watch it?
No, I didn't see it yet. I'm watching Grownish. I was watching that this morning. I'll watch it.
They did an episode about colorism within their family.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Hits.
Brings up
I'm telling you, y'all don't know. Blackish is. I've been trying to get people on the Blackish for a while.
Yeah. That seems to I feel like that happens a lot where you try to get me on something and then I don't respond.
Do it until a year later because you don't listen.
That is true. I also started listening to the Summer Walker album. I was like, Britain's gonna kill me for this.
And you sit in the car like bops.
Yeah.
Jams.
Yeah.
You make me sick, but I love you.
Vocally though.
Vocally. We should get ready for our interview.
Yep.
Coming up next, lovely interviews.
You're so fake. Yes, but I am really excited to hear more about the TEDx Talk in Portland and what the expectations for Brittain are, what he needs to do in the next 11 days.
Get prepared.
Yay! So we will be
you tried it.
Right back with that interview.
And it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Bitch, you better get working.
I know. I am working. It'll be done.
I know it will.
And it'll
probably be the best talk there.
No, it won't.
Probs.
It'll be fine. Everything is fine. Boo boo.
The room is on fire. I have such a headache.
Doo doo. Get up.
Are people gonna judge me if I was just putting my nose all over this rag and then I put my drink back on it?